This is the Crickett Precision Rifle. Precision is literally in the name. Does it live up to that name, or is this just kind of a cheap POS marketed as a gimmick to kids? Let's find out. This is probably the only real review on this rifle that you're going to find on YouTube. Hello, you're watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. I am Jacob, your host. If you enjoy this content, please hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, share this video, and consider subscribing. This video and many others are made possible through my Patreon. Guys, when you go on my Patreon, pay $1 a month, whatever it is, you really help me purchase products like this to review. You all know that when all of these big channels that are getting all kinds of free stuff and then sharing affiliate links, right? They're sharing those affiliate links and giving them positive reviews because it means cash in their pocket. I don't want to do that. So by supporting me on Patreon, you're helping me to avoid that. Also, I do have affiliate links, but I just put affiliate links to the websites themselves. If I review a product and really like it, I'm probably going to share the link. But as a whole, look, if you're wanting gun parts, you're going to buy from Brownells, Palmetto State Armory, Optics Planet, or Primary Arms. Anyways, you can use my link and go buy whatever you want, and it helps support this channel. The biggest way to support this channel, and probably the easiest way, is to support my brand, Beach and Tactical. I designed a rifle sling in Afghanistan. I hand make every single one custom to order at beachandtactical.com. And my knife brand, Exodus Knife and Tool, incredibly versatile, absolutely premium production knives made in the USA, S35VN Super Steel, awesome designs. So please, in the description box below, you will find these links. And there's also Kentuckiana Gunworks. Guys, their oil and grease is the only oil and grease that I use. It's really good stuff, made by a really good guy, local to me in Kentucky. I've got a coupon code for you to use, TPBO, for 10% off your order. So make sure that you check that out. Let's get you right back to the content. Thank you for watching. So what is the Crickett Precision Rifle? The Crickett Precision Rifle is the standard Crickett rifle who we've all come to love. The really, really affordable, very small, child-sized rifle that is available in almost every store everywhere, with a precision stock modeled after a full-size sniper rifle, and you can buy it coming with a bipod and a scope as well. I have used this rifle over the past few weeks. I have easily hundreds of rounds through this rifle. I've used it in an NRL 22 competition type setting. I've used it out to 180 yards at a 6-inch target. I've used it quite a bit down to a 2-inch target at 70 yards or 70 meters. And I've used it to punch some paper. I have used it to the point where it needs to be significantly cleaned a few times to maintain reliable extraction and ejection. Needless to say, this rifle has seen quite a bit of shooting, almost entirely consisting of CCI standard velocity ammo and Ely Remington match ammo. I was interested in this rifle not only because of its small size. Again, this is still designed for a really little person. You can see here, as compared to my hand, the distance from the back of the grip to the trigger is incredibly small. So I was interested in this because I can teach my son to shoot it, but I could also get a extension here to give it a proper length of pull for me to shoot it. The Crickett Precision Rifle stands apart from the standard lineup in that it looks cool, in that it has the word precision in the name, so we're going to assume it's more accurate. I do test that. And because of its overall length, size, and weight, it could potentially make for a good bush gun. Now let's talk about that precision part, the accuracy. Looks are subjective, so, I can't really test that part of the equation. But when it comes to accuracy, where are we at? Now, I was able to fairly reliably hit a 6-inch target at 180 meters. With a better optic, I think I could have done even better. I was also able to easily hit a 2-inch target at 70 meters. Now, I started having problems with this gun with every screw coming loose, with the scope base coming loose, and with the factory scope that came on it losing the ability to hold zero. So, how accurate is it? Well, this might give a better idea of that. I had a hard time getting it back on zero, figuring out all of the issues that I was having, tightening things up. But in the end, this 5-shot group at 50 meters is probably on the better end of the accuracy that I have gotten, which is not phenomenal, but is acceptable. So with a target like, say, this steel swing target from Cabela's, which broke the first time I used it, you know, the 2.5-inch target at 50 meters, no problem. The 2-inch target at 50 meters, no problem. We start getting into the 1.5s and the 2s, we start running into some more issues there. So, especially since things started loosening up and the scope started having issues. So the accuracy potential of this rifle is much different than the box stock accuracy that you're going to get. So with that being said, let's segue straight into issues that I've had with the rifle. They kind of start with the stock here. You have a clamshell design stock. It's split right down the middle, kind of what you might expect from maybe an airsoft gun or something like that. And it is screwed across its length together. I found originally that these screws were loosening themselves up. I don't know if that actually matters. I tried to tighten them up, but the way they tighten into these bushings, it's kind of hard to do. Not exactly sure why they went that route without anything at the backside to hold the bushing in place while you tighten it. But the biggest issue here is the barrel is not free floated in the stock. So I don't understand why you would mold a stock like this. You know, your options are unlimited for how you design the stock, because you're going to just program it and then you're going to make 10 billion of them. You're not making them by hand, so I don't understand why they wouldn't be free floated. It is a precision rifle. So with that being said, I have found that if you are in the prone with this rifle and it happens to be flexed one way or the other, you're going to put some pressure on your barrel, and your rounds are also going to go one way or another to some degree. So I really wish, my number one issue with accuracy itself is I really wish we had free floated this stock. Another thing that I find to be a little bit irritating is that's a T25 Torx head screw to hold the action in the stock. Now I had a security Torx head set of tools, and they didn't want to go in there. The little security knob was too small in mine. They do sell the piece to use to tighten or loosen that, but it's like, just use a normal screw. Why do you have a security screw in here? Use a normal Allen head, maybe even use a normal Torx head. But why do you have to use a little weird screw? Because it is going to come loose. If you buy this rifle and you don't take this out and put blue Loctite on it and put it back in, it will come loose. So just use a standard screw in there, not a Phillips head like their other offering. Just use a normal Allen head screw. I think that's a little bit frustrating. The next issue that I ran into was the factory scope. Guys, if we're going to be using this for kids, let's not make it frustrating. And if your scope gets to 300 or 400 or 500 rounds, or if your kid's banging it around and stuff like that, and it's no longer aiming in the same point all the time, and they're just constantly missing, or you're constantly missing, that's a huge issue. I would really like, even if with a 4-power scope, let's keep it simple, let's keep it reliable. It doesn't have to do everything amazing. It doesn't have to be amazing glass. It doesn't have to have crazy magnification or anything, but it needs to be reliable, and where those crosshairs are pointed needs to stay in the same spot. My last issue with this rifle is ease of use overall. So the scope mount coming loose, the stock also came loose. This rifle needs to be Jaegerized right away. It comes from James Yeager. What that means is you take all of your important stuff off, you use blue Loctite or an appropriate thread sealer, and you go through and you Loctite all of your bolts, okay? So that is something that your average shooter does not normally go out and do. That needs to be done with this. A kid is not going to know how to do this. To go further with ease of use, when this thing was new, it was really hard to get this bolt forward and to get that round into the chamber to the point where I would look at this thing and really shove on it, all right? A little kid, that's going to be frustrating, and Dad doesn't want to come over once a kid is shooting and is feeling confident and cock the gun for them every time, and the kid is not going to want to do that either at a certain point. That is a bit of a downside. It has gotten smoother with use. The trigger is fairly heavy as well, and that's not necessarily very easy to use for a kid. Now, people say that a heavy trigger is more safe. That can be true, but as with all things, there is a limit. So a trigger that's a little bit heavy and doesn't go off on accident is a good thing. But a trigger where you have to grit your teeth, or a kid has to grit their teeth and is shaking to try and pull it because it's physically difficult to pull, is on the other end of the spectrum. That is unsafe. So when it comes to ease of use and issues with the rifle, this is kind of the things that I am looking at here. Another difficult thing with ease of use is this loading ramp. This is a Gen 2 rifle, and Crickett has added a loading ramp. But as you'll be able to see here, that round can go off to the left side or to the right side and then not want to load, which is kind of frustrating. And it seems to me, it can come off to this side as well. It seems to me that if you're going to design a loading ramp that goes in here, that's another piece, make it wide enough so that no matter where the round is inside here, it will be funneled directly towards the chamber. Is the gun a good value? Now, this will sell, depending on where you get it, with the bipod and the scope for somewhere between $320 and $400, depending on how good of a deal that you get. This scope, I would consider it this bipod, I'd consider it a freebie. It's not very adjustable, and it's just, what in the world? Oh, is it locked? I didn't even know it had that function. It's just, that's all it adjusts, okay? So I would consider this a freebie. The scope, not very good. Is it a good value as a package like this? It's not bad, guys. It is pretty cool. It is pretty unique. If your kid thinks it looks cool, he's gonna have more fun shooting. And if you're shooting at tin cans at 25 yards, it's gonna be a whole heck of a lot of fun once you get this thing zeroed. I do think it could be a better value. And if you want to shoot this thing, if you really want to progress in accuracy with this thing yourself or for your kid, I would probably recommend getting it without the scope and without the bipod, because the money that you save can go to buying a better bipod and a scope that is at least reliable. Here's the thing, if you spend any amount of money on something that doesn't work, you didn't save money, you threw money away. And I do believe at this point that the factory scope, the AIM Sports scope that went on here is kind of a throwaway unit. So, value, would I buy it again? Yes, I would, however. I think it's very cool. And again, the scope's probably going to last a little guy if they're not beating it around longer than me, because they're not going to notice these kind of accuracy issues, right? They're going to be a lot closer, and it's fine. Get them started if they're little, whatever. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. But what am I going to do going forward? First off, I want a better optic than even this. This guy's just sitting on here temporarily. I want more magnification to reach out a little bit further. And if I cannot get this stock dialed in to where I can get better accuracy, I think I'm going to pick up the Crickett aluminum chassis, which is going to truly give me a free-floated barrel and give me real accuracy potential to get the most that I can out of this rifle. So with that being said, if you're looking at this rifle and you want to use it for precision use, there is a precision model of the Crickett rifle that comes already in their aluminum chassis, and I would probably suggest for you to go that route instead of this route. Final thoughts. The biggest thing that stands out to me here is, does Keystone care? Keystone stopped doing Instagram in 2019. Keystone doesn't really talk to social media people at all. Hasn't really been doing much of anything that I can see. It seems as a brand that they haven't progressed very far for years now. So if Keystone cares, let's say they use all of these clamshell stocks and in the next run they free float them. If Keystone cares, this is really cool, and I really like companies that care about their customers and want to do what's best. If Keystone does not care and they want to sit on the designs that they have and just be at a bottom dollar price in every gun shop, then I think that there are going to be better options out there. Already Savage is clapping back with their Rascal Precision rifle that comes with the whole kit and stuff like that. Other people in the market, if Keystone doesn't care, are going to replace them. And I honestly partially hope that doesn't happen because I saw this passion in the company and I want to see that hang around. So I would like Keystone, even if they don't replace the stock, I would like Keystone to try and continue to move forward with their products and with their designs and show an investment in their customer. And to wrap up, guys, do I recommend it? I already touched on this, but yeah, this thing is pretty cool. It's a ton of fun. If you're shooting stuff like this, you're going to have a blast. There's a few things that have been frustrated. There's a few things that you need to know. It could be a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's a bargain barrel budget rifle with potential. If you want to get serious with it, you can get serious with it on your own. You can pick up any slack that Keystone has left behind. I like the rifle and I intend to keep it and push forward with it. Eventually, I do think I will invest in it and try and get this kind of group to get rid of flyers, start shooting some MOA or less. I'd like to shoot about, less than a half-inch group at 50 yards. I think I'll be able to do that with the chassis. I think that's a really cool option to have. So I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think that we need to see more people actively reviewing this rifle. I think that it needs to get out there a little bit more, and I think its greatest potential is in getting its own shooting league started. They've invested in this rifle with patches, with gear, with shirts, with a league. Let's get something like NRL 22 together where we have 50-yard competitions or 100-yard competitions if Keystone can get their stuff together. Let's get kids involved. Let's get adults involved. I would like to try and do that myself locally. I might even talk to my local gun shop about stocking multiple of these and having them sponsor events. There's a lot of potential here. I love it. I love the passion that went into this rifle, so I do think it's exciting. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will continue to review this rifle. This rifle will not be forgotten about, so if you like seeing this, consider subscribing to the channel. Ask me about it now and again, and you will see more content going forward. Again, thank you for watching. I will talk to you in the comment section below, and I hope that you have a blessed day. I'd actually like to add this last little bit into this video. I mentioned that my buddy who competes in NRL 22 was impressed by the rifle. I mentioned that I had shot it with him. So I want to include this clip of me talking to him at the end of the video to give you his opinion on the rifle. And we talk about this together. And this was, at that time, a lot of the difficulties that I've had have been since then. but most of the opinions here I think are still valuable, so we're going to go ahead and throw this in, and we're going to get an additional opinion. And I bought this rifle, and he is not being paid off by anyone, so both of us are giving you completely authentic information. Again, enjoy, and like I already said, I'll talk to you in the comment section below. So today I've been shooting the Crickett precision rifle with Justin.
Yep.
And Justin, just really quick, is the rifle what you expected? Is it something a little different? What do you think?
It's about what I expected. It's a youth gun. I mean, we'll call it what it is. It's a youth gun.
Definitely.
But it's very accurate so far from what we've seen. I mean, just running CCI standard velocity with a fixed, what is that, a fixed 4-power?
Yeah.
I mean, you can easily hit a 1-inch target at 50 yards with it. It's probably weighs, what, 2 pounds? Maybe 3? So you've really got to put effort into it to control it. But surprisingly, as long as you do your part, that little gun will shoot. I mean, I've been very pleased with it. I think once you get your spacer on it,
yeah,
for a little bit longer length of pull, maybe a little bit better scope,
yeah,
I think she's going to be a real champ.
I think we'll hit, if I get the ammo right, I think we'll hit like close to 1 MOA.
Oh yeah,
for grips.
Easily. Yeah, I don't see that being an issue at all. You know, as long as you can hold it steady, that's the big thing. As light as it is,
right,
you got to focus on it. But it makes you a better shooter. I mean, it really does make you a better shooter because you got to focus on your fundamentals better. But overall, function's been great. I mean, it's a basic single shot, but it's not had any issues extracting rounds. We've had no light strikes with it. We've had no failure to feeds when it is single. I've seen some single shots that still very finicky with how you place the rounds. This one's not been the case. I mean, it's a good little solid gun. I've been surprised by its performance. Not really the quality or anything. I've heard that they've always been good little guns, but it's impressed me with what it can do in its factory configuration.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, so
what I'll do is I'll just